Hey, welcome back to the Traveling Businessman. I almost said the Creare Marketing Podcast. Chrissy just yelled at me all day yesterday about saying Creare Marketing Podcast.
No, you just need to give yourself credit every time.
Yeah, let me adjust that for you, young blood.
La la.
All right, so what we were talking about last time was too depressing to get into. So now we're going to talk about something else.
Uh,
We
are we talking about it or no? We not talking about it?
Y'all talking about depressing?
depressing. We were going to talk about the what happened at Nerdscape
We can touch on it briefly.
briefly.
That's sad.
Since
So
my anger is registered somewhere else, I might not, I'm not angry with them. I'm just really, really, really disappointed. Um, yeah.
I never even got to see the place like open.
Well, I mean, you can go look at it. It's really nice. They
yeah,
finished painting it red and
Has
with the
anyone?
with the name and everything. Like it looks awesome.
it was just getting super popular too.
I mean, they just opened the
What was
rage
the
room.
Like what?
Well, they only had one escape room. They were working on another one, but they kept like hitting obstacles
Like
for it.
theme-wise?
The circuit. Well, the asylum
Oh, that's
one, yeah. So we did that. We actually did it twice, and they had a virtual reality escape room that Jesse and Jackson and my brother did. And they liked it a lot. Um, I never got to go to the rage room.
Yeah, that
I can go now.
right. It's perfect for everyone in this mall to go do a rage room. Anyone,
really.
anyone in hospitality has to have a rage room at one point. Walmart should
Or a
put one in
child.
there. Or
You're a parent.
oh, I don't have kids.
I mean,
thank
really,
goodness.
honestly, there is any reason you could possibly just from parking in the parking lot. I'm sure you can run into a reason as to why you would need a rage room.
I need a rage. Never mind.
I mean, like, what's the word? Exude, right? Exude the rage instead of internalizing. I feel like a lot of shit, like a lot of bad shit wouldn't happen, you know? If there's a safe place for people to freak out on, maybe people would freak out less on other people. Maybe, I don't know.
You've been learning a lot from these psychology students.
Oh, but God is sending me signs.
An infinite amount of them.
I told you about that, right?
Oh yeah, you told me.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening.
I think you need help.
I already know I need help. I am getting the help.
I'm just messing
Just
with you.
on my terms.
Can you introduce who this is?
Oh yeah, this is Babs, and she is a real person. And if you can't see her, I'm sorry.
Email Sam.
Everybody else is a part of my delusions, and they choose to not taint that I've made her up. But for right now, she's there. She's the one crocheting a blanket,
I'm actually a figment
Again.
of everyone's imagination.
right? That's what Jack said. There was like a minute there where I was just like, I don't know, maybe Babs, maybe I did make her up. And then Jax is like, plot twist. I've been sent by the mental ward to evaluate you. I'm like, that seems accurate. Have you ever seen Charmed?
I have. I
So
grew
that
up
one
with it.
episode where I forget which demon it is, but he's trying to get Piper to give up the power of three, and so he makes her think that she's in a mental hospital, and like these other patients, her sisters, they're crazy also. I'm like, that's what's happening.
That sounds like. Have you ever seen Ash versus Evil Dead?
No.
They have a. I didn't know it was an older one, but they have the newer one where the same guy comes back after like 30 years and does the show again, and
Like Halloween.
yeah, like Halloween, but he kills demons on there. But there was a demon that tricked me honestly that said he was in a mental ward. I had no idea until you end up
Oh.
killing him. Right, he would have got me then. Demons would have got me. I'm weak in the mind, so
Oh heck yeah!
it's it
Speaking
for me.
of weak in the mind, I went and saw Smile yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I haven't seen that yet.
Would you like a real review on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I love scary movies. Like, I like true scary movies, not these stupid movies that prey on mental health or religion, like true scary movies. Like there's an actual person, like whatever. I can appreciate when somebody's trying to do a mental health um, scary movie because that kind of does touch on things. I was not a fan of the movie, and there could be reasons why I wasn't a fan. One, I mean, obviously, I come from mental health, so for mental health issues, and I have a brother who deals with a lot of stuff. And watching this movie, first of all, it's just like I don't. They don't actually clarify like why this was happening because at the end of the day it was about your mental health. So it literally said it was like it feeds off of your trauma. And I'm like, well, damn, everybody's got trauma. So basically, the gist of, I mean, spoiler, whatever. Um, the gist of it is like there's like this entity and it preys on your trauma. So basically, like it we'll say possess. It possesses a person, and then when it, I guess maybe when it seeks out another person it wants to transfer to, it makes the person that it is enabled, and it kills itself. Like it kills the body, and then it transfers to the next body. Like they don't actually show you this like happening. It's the pattern of it as you're watching the movie. Like they figure out the pattern of it.
I have a lot of trouble watching horror movies based on mental health and even getting on social media and seeing people talk about mental health because there's a lot of people out there who know nothing about it, think they know a lot about it, think it's something simple, and they perpetuate a lot of rumors that honestly destroy people that need help,
Right.
ability to go
Yeah.
get it or think that they need to seek it out, or they destroy something that's completely normal that people do all the time by
Right.
saying it's wrong or it's not correct or like that it's not a
Or
natural
even the
human
opposite.
behavior.
It's like, oh, everybody deals with it, but somebody
Yeah.
who actually needs the help might be like, oh, maybe
They
I don't
normalize
need
it.
help or whatever.
Yeah.
But the movie just was kind of, it was scary because of the, like, there was a lot of blood. Like, not through the whole movie, but, like, when those scary parts came through, like, it was blood. And, like, it fed off of that. And I don't know, the doctor is, she's like a psychiatrist. She works at a hospital. Like, they were feeding off of that. What irritated me from the beginning was, like, she witnessed this person commit suicide, and the cops come, and, like, you have this one asshole cop, and he's like, so basically she was like a head case. And I'm like, but why do we have to feed so hardcore on the people who don't actually understand it? Because I feel like that's far from, I don't know, maybe it's because I keep my circle, similar to my viewpoints, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I feel like I
Implicit
don't do
bias.
that, but I'm also not surrounding myself with people who are just like, oh, yeah, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're a head case, you're a basket case, you're blah, blah, blah. So I didn't appreciate that. And then at the end, it was like the entity was just feeding off of her trauma. It was, now, I won't lie, it was a nice little twist at the end. But scary movies tend to, like, you kind of know what's about to happen. So we were already like, oh, this is about to happen. And it twisted. And then as soon as it twisted, I was like, oh, this is about to happen instead. And so it was a cool little twist. But what made it funny was me and my friend almost got kicked out.
Oh Lord. That sounds
I'm
like
not
a
really
whole
sure
story.
what we were doing because I go to scary movies and it's kind of more entertaining when everyone else is freaking out. And me and her, we laugh because everybody is freaking out. So we think that somebody just really didn't like that. And so this dude that looked like Draco came and was like, you all need to be quiet.
Gosh, it's full circle from the last podcast. I've been listening.
But the reason why I brought that up, aside from what you had mentioned, there was a trailer for Dungeons and Dragons, and I was like legit hardcore into the trailer, and I was like, what is happening
Here's
here?
the
Like,
sign.
this seems interesting. And then at the end, it was like Dungeons and Dragons. I was like, my podcast is tomorrow. I can't wait to tell Corey.
I've been watching this trailer over and over for at least a month now. That's a sign. You get all these psychologists to come in. You got me coming in, tell you about Dungeons and Dragons. My team is coming in.
They're trying to take me to the darker side.
No, you're already in there. It's the Harry Potter stuff. You might as well just, I forgot the spell Harry Potter uses. It's the only one he knows. But
The only one.
yeah, he knows only one spell. At least
And
in
which
the
one's that
movies.
one?
I can't remember the
It's,
spell.
let's see, there's
Yeah.
there's Expecto Patronum, that's one. And
Okay,
then-
that's one. And he also knows Akio because he's constantly calling for shit. Because he's never prepared.
That's
Expelliarmus, I think is what it is.
No, that's the one. Well, yeah, he does use that one. But
Use
Hermione
that
was the one
constantly.
who was like, Expelliarmus.
I think that's why I remember it.
But no, Expecto Patronum is probably the number one. I mean, at the end, because that's all they were doing was fighting off freaking Dementors and stuff.
See,
Me-
you're already
meanwhile-
on the dark side.
Meanwhile, I'll get some crazy, and I'm all like,
Are you actually excited for the Dungeons and Dragons movie? I have not seen the trailer for it. My friends and I were obsessed with it when we were kids. We never could actually afford like the big Dungeon and Dragons sets, so we just made our own paper games like completely up out of like just trash we found around the house or whatever.
That's far too creative for when I was a kid. I was still playing in dirt at like 8. So I wasn't thinking about
Look,
making my own games.
We grew up in a super small town. There was not much to do. It was boring.
when I was a
But,
kid, computers were still trying to make the transition of which one was better, Macintosh or Windows.
But I see the World of Warcraft movies now, and I haven't seen a single one of them because I just don't know if they'll be like. I just don't know how they're gonna turn out.
What-
Like I feel
I
like
was
there's a good
watch-
chance they could go south real quick.
I was watching the trailer, and I was like, "Oh, look, there's Michelle Rodriguez." I'm like, "Look at her. She hasn't been doing anything since Fast and
That is true.
Furiouser and all that."
Faster and faster.
Yeah, well, they made too many.
They did. They did.
They really should have just stopped.
I agree.
But then the one chick, the one that looks like Brave, right? The redhead that changes into animals or something.
yeah, that's
She
pretty
changed into that like owl or something, and
Owl
I
bear?
instantly was like, Hedwig, look, Hedwig.
You know what? See, I think you would really love it if you gave it a try. See? Okay, so what the thing about the movie is, so you can't actually do that in the game. You can't turn into an owl bear. They're usually they're a monster. You can turn into a bear or an owl, but not an owl bear. So,
Well, why not?
because they're a monster class. Like, I don't know. If I explained it to you, it would be a whole podcast.
If you custom made a whole game though, you could potentially put that in there though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I
People
want to play
who make
Babs'
home.
game. She made her shit up, so we can in her game.
You want to host the Dungeons and Dragons game?
Oh my god! I love
Babs
to
edition.
write. I would do it. I think it would be really, really fun.
Yeah,
actually.
it'd be fun. That's what Nerdscape is supposed to put in before they close. That's why I was partially mad about it because he was telling me all these plans, all these grand ideas. I'm like, okay, I had him on the podcast twice. He's gonna put all this stuff in. We'll be happy together. Me and Mason become best friends. We'll play Dungeons and Dragons.
Can you see it now, the man holding in a field? Dungeons
That's
and
exactly what I imagine every single day. And he disappeared on me without saying anything, and I was hurt. Men,
That was.
he ghosted me.
He ghosted everybody.
It
And then,
hurt.
like, I'm still in the group message being like, I'm still waiting for an answer. Like, I messaged them on the side. I have no closure, Mason.
I messaged him too.
Does he watch this podcast?
I don't know, but if he does,
He might.
Good. I hope he
Mason,
does. I don't even know him, and I hope he does.
I got nothing. I had this little lost puppy who would come visit me, and I'd make him hot chocolate.
I wanted to take him under my wing because he was a young guy too, and someone being young, I want to
He
take
was
them.
about the same age as y'all.
Yeah, but I'm old in soul. So
It's your voice. That's what makes you look.
it's my
older.
face. I get it from my granddad. He looks old since he was like 6, so ever since then I've looked old too.
Oh,
So it just kind of runs in my family.
I've always looked like a baby.
I had someone tell me that I have a
Yeah.
mature voice. I don't know what that means.
Your voice is deeper than mine. It really,
Wow.
it really is. She
No,
almost
that's
flushed
fine.
me.
You're the maturest person here,
I
Babs.
get called sir in the drive-through, okay, man, and I'm not even mad about it.
I did that yesterday. I called this guy,
Yes, queen.
ma'am, and I pulled up. I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry."
Oh, this lady didn't even say
Well, what do you
sorry.
say though? Like,
I
if
just
you
act like
don't
I didn't say
know, or like, I feel like there isn't a generic like equivalent to yes ma'am or yes sir. Like, aside from yes'm, but we ain't saying that.
Yes, person.
That sounds weird.
fellow
Yes,
human.
person. Yes. See, for me though, that just seems like I'm being extra rude. Like I'm putting way too much more emphasis on the fact that I don't know. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Yes, person.
You know what I've run into?
I don't know.
The older woman with the raspy voice, so it kind of sounds like a guy, and then I pull up and it's not a guy.
I love those ladies.
So I just act like I didn't
I'm
say
like,
it.
keep talking to me. I like it.
I know, I like it.
That
too.
little like smoky raspy.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
like
smoked 40 packs of
like
Marlboros.
Phoebe from Friends when she had her cold.
Did not
You
watch
remember?
I did not watch Friends.
Oh my
Well,
God.
I'm out on the movie series thing with y'all because growing up, I didn't have
It's
a
a
TV
TV
until
show.
I was like 10, man. Like I didn't
Okay.
have nothing. Like I did not.
Oh, yeah.
But you're an
I
adult
mean,
now.
You live in
can
the
make
mountains.
your own choices.
Well,
Forgot, yeah.
well, when I grew up far away, my parents had like 10 VHSs and they did nothing else. Like we had those 10 VHSs. We didn't go to the
I
movies.
feel like
There
that
wasn't
should definitely still be a thing.
that would be
VHS?
You know, Blockbuster.
When
Be
Blockbuster
kind.
closed,
Rewind.
I sobbed.
Everybody needs that. That's why we're listen, I'm like 12 years older than you guys. I'm not gonna lie.
You gonna
My
blame it on the
generation was
tapes?
best, okay? Because we had to be kind and rewind and think about the next person who was going to watch the movie. And if you didn't rewind it, we cursed you the entire time we were rewinding. I mean, you had your own rewinder. Like, you didn't stick that shit in the VCR. You had your own little rewind little thing that you literally, that was its only job.
Our VCR rewound itself.
It's, no. Our VCR did too, but like,
I thought
you
were saying
know.
something
No,
separate.
it is. It's separate. Oh, ugh. Where my other Zennials at? It is its own little contraption, and its only job was to rewind the movies. You literally stick it in, put it down, and
Well, you're not a
rewind.
millennial?
I refuse to be associated with the classification of millennial because I'm way better than a freaking millennial. Okay.
Millennials have, like, little
We have.
That's your
generational
group,
things.
though.
No.
If I'm Gen Z, you are, too.
No.
You be
We
acting like a
have.
millennial. No.
It's called Zennial. It's a very, very small selective group because not even everybody who was born in the same year can be in it. Like, we still.
Wait, what?
Yeah, yes.
Did you just
Look
say-
it up. No, I
Did you
swear to
just
God.
say not everyone born in the same year can be in it. What-
No, they can't because you know why? You know what makes the difference? Their parents. Because if they had young parents, I had older parents. It's aside from my mom. My stepdad was 13 years older than my mom. So he was born in 57. So I still had a lot of that old school brought up from Gen X. Now, meanwhile, my mom is only like barely 17 years older than me.
I thought you were
So,
going to say your mom was barely 17. My ass just was
When
not
she
going
had
down
me?
on the table. Sorry, I didn't mean
oh no, not when they met. I mean, they met shortly after that. Well, let me look. You guys talk. Let me look up the definition of a zennial.
You threw me for a loop there for a second.
Zennial meaning what?
Sam throws me through a loop every day.
Zennials grew up in a time where landline phones were used to organize catch-ups with friends. I don't know who wrote that description, but that seems.
Well, I had a landline.
But see, that's why I feel like I connect with Babs a lot because even though she's young, she has that old soul. Like if I didn't know any better and I didn't actually ask her, I would. We're on the same level. Like all three of us are on the same. Even though I'm 12 years older, and I feel like you all are on the same level as
Yeah, I
me.
appreciate it.
Well,
Granted, until you all didn't know what the rewind thing was.
I was raised by my grandparents. You know, they had VHS in 2010. You know, so that's what I grew up with. We didn't really have cable either, or internet, or computer.
I
or-
started that
or
generation
grass.
for you guys.
Well, no, thank you.
We
Everyone else had a
started
Facebook page.
acronyms, okay, because we had a very limited amount of characters we can put in on a text message. So acronyms, you're welcome. We invented that shit. LOL, POS, all that crap. We invented that.
You know,
And I miss it. I miss Instant Messenger. I miss it so hard. I miss MySpace.
Away from keyboard.
people at your age still text me LOL, and I'm like, there's a laugh emoji. You can just click
It
that.
automatically changes it now. I still like writing LOL
Yeah,
though.
well, I had a newfound shame that other kids didn't have when I was around 14 because I still had a flip phone, like a burner phone.
Dude,
at
I
14.
still wish flip phones
Yeah,
were a
me too.
thing.
And all
Yeah,
the
how
other
s-
kids be having their iPhones.
You know how
sending me the
satisfactory
stuff.
it is
I'm
to be
your
like-
emoji's a square, dude. I don't know what that is.
If you go
Question mark.
If you go to any one of my generation's Facebook page and hit their about, you'll see they all say born in 1992. That's all because they had to fake being 18 to get a Facebook page. So when I was
Back
in
when
middle,
Facebook was just for college students,
yep, just started.
and you had to have a college email in order to get on Facebook.
Well, we were
That's how old I am.
we were
That's
a
how
little
old I am.
bit past that one. We were a little bit like everyone
Right,
else can get
yeah,
on.
now everybody can get on.
That was the beginning of the death of MySpace.
But
right
see,
there.
now I'm at the point now where I have no idea what else is out there. Like, I'm like, you know what? I've done this. I invented this for you all.
Oh, I thought of something
So
I gotta
I'm
say.
done. Y'all can pick up the reins. See, that's the job of the millennials now to like run. And what are your Z?
Gen Z.
Yeah, we're Gen Z. Technically.
What's the range on that?
Wait, you're at my age?
Yeah, dude, where you been?
We just said
How many
like-
times did we just say
Yeah,
that?
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Yeah, I'm 23 too.
Oh, okay.
Do I be
Thank you.
looking like I'm 40?
No, you're just
No,
more
it's just
mature
your-
than I am. So
Your
I
voice
just-
is mature.
Yeah,
That's why.
I sound like an old lady.
Like I said, I am 12 years older than you.
It's crochet,
See?
my man.
Thank you.
I added 3 more years, so I didn't
The
know.
difference.
I felt really old yesterday. Actually, me and my partner both felt really old. We went out to Kodo. We were sitting there. We were eating. We were talking. And these two, like, I don't know how they were. They were like 12-year-old little boys. They walked by us, and he was like, "Is it a W?" And my partner looked at him and was like, "What?" And he was like, "Is it a W? Is it good?" Like he said it like.
I don't know what that means
Do you not
either.
know what that means? And Stone was like, "Yeah, it's good," and they walked away. And we were
I would
like,
have immediately threw something at them.
I know. My
Here's an
immediate
edamame for
reaction
you.
was like, I don't want anybody to talk to me while I'm out to like dinner. Like I don't.
Like
don't
mid
talk to
bite,
me.
like
But no, and then he was like, I don't even know what that means, and I was like, we're old because I don't know what that. That's like new kid slang. That's like something
Never
like
I
heard
still
that
say
before.
dude, so
Oh, I do.
whatever.
I know. I say radical still. I say.
Oh, you're a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I am.
Cowabunga.
What do you know about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Again. When did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles come out?
But
You sound like my uncle. He says that all the time.
Stone's main comment about the whole thing was, I just miss it when slang made sense. Like you could interpret what it meant. And nowadays,
That's
if
not
you don't
even
watch
true,
TikTok-
though.
I think I know, it's more like you were in the scene when
Okay,
it was
first-
invented, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But like when people come, okay, two examples. People come and they're just like, "Oh man, that's fire," and I'm like, "What is it? Spicy?" And they're like, "No, fire, or that's money, or that's Gucci," and I'm like, "I don't understand. Are you saying it's expensive?" And they're like, "No, it's good," and I'm like, "Why can't you just fucking say good? Man, that was good." Or okay, or if I was to be like, "Oh, that's tight." Like, I know that stands for good, but if I was to say
Yeah.
that to somebody else, they'd be like, "What are you talking about? It's too tight? You loosen it?" No. No. Then the other one was, this is back when Layla was like 7. So this is probably like 6 years ago. One of her dance teachers, it was like a student dance teacher. And at that time, I was like trying to lose weight and just be healthier and whatnot. I need to do that again.
You look good.
And she was like, "Oh, Sam, you're looking thick." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" And she's like, that's a good thing. And I was like, "Oh, it is?" She said, "Yeah, it's good." Where I'm saying you look good. I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I look thick. Yup, say it again." You know, I'm just like, "What do you mean I look thick? I'm trying to not look thick anymore."
You know, that was the funny thing. I remember growing up in the 2000s, girls did not want to be thick at all. That was a big problem if you if you said that to anybody.
Listen.
Now everyone wants to
Oh,
be
and you
thick.
mean
Everybody.
like the 1990s like waif body that was in?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that was
That's tough, right
like
there.
if you watch what show is it? Come on. Help me out. It's Joe Rogan. Why can't I remember the
Fear
name?
Factor?
Thank you. Thank you. I was about to freak out.
I love Joe
All
Rogan.
the women on that show are like, I mean,
Right.
they are, and that was in the 90s.
It's because they
right,
throw
when
up
that
all
came
those
out?
Tweaked
shit.
eyebrows.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it
pushed
was a
out
whole-
hair.
completely opposite of what everybody wants to look like now. Like it's crazy how the fads change everything.
That's interesting because I never looked at people and saw a body. I've never done that.
So you're a decent human being.
Yeah, for real.
I'm like that. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa, I didn't mean it like
Just
that.
call
I mean,
everybody
on Fear
twigs.
Factor, he hasn't barely wearing anything at all.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I've never understood that. But
I
like,
didn't either. I
I've
didn't like
never
that
been
part.
that person to look at a magazine and be like, I want to be skinny like her. I was just like, oh, she's pretty. I mean, I would like mental note it, but I wasn't obsessed with having to look like somebody
I
else.
agree.
What I'll say obsessed, what I was obsessed with was the fact that I didn't have people of diversity around me. And that was after I moved from the Bronx. So, like, when I moved upstate, I mean, at that point, I really was a minority. I understood what that meant. And that was the hard thing because other people were pointing it out. It wasn't that I noticed it, it was because people were making me notice.
Yeah.
And then that's when, but that, and I kind of grew up where image was so very important. And even though it wasn't important to me, it still isn't important to me. But it was one of those things where when you constantly get told something, like, then yeah, you want to change so people can stop talking about it. You know what I mean? So I used to always, I mean, I hate going in the sun. I used to be like, oh, you know, like my white friends. I would never say it like that though, but I'd be like, oh, you guys are so cute. Like you can wear any color. And I mean, nobody was telling me I couldn't wear the same color. I just didn't feel like it didn't look as good, you know? And then when my parents split, I still didn't have anybody around. So now I'm maneuvering my minority life with my white stepdad, who was low-key racist. So it's like, how do you maneuver around that? Because you can't go to him and be like, I'm dealing with this, you know, because at the end of the day, it's not them, it's you. So I never told them shit that I was dealing with because I just handled it myself. Or at that point, I was like, I need to get out.
I was really lucky to grow up with parents who were so ahead of the times with being like, you don't pay attention to that kind of thing. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what color they are. It doesn't matter what gender, ethnicity, culture, any of that. Like, the whole point of the world is diversity. That's what makes the world go. And without that, there's no point to it. And I mean, my parents were like, kudos to them, because the stuff that I'm learning in my like social work program right now, I got all these people who are way older than me that are like, I never thought about it like that before. And I was like, man, my mom taught me that when I was 6.
Yeah.
You know?
And when a lot of stuff like that you think is just kind of like common sense. Isn't that
Right.
like basic human knowledge?
Isn't it just
being
love,
nice to
man?
people?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how that in 2022 is a new idea.
No, I don't either. I don't either.
You know, like I really don't give a shit about anything else aside from you being a nice person. Like, don't come at me with hate. Don't come at my kids with hate, because you definitely don't want to do that.
No.
But like, just be a decent human being. Like the whole like treat others how you want to be treated. And man, I would treat some mofos really, really nice, and inside I'd be like, I don't know why I'm doing this because you suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep doing it because I feel like at the end of the day, whatever you believe in, they're gonna see that and they're gonna know
It
that
comes
you're
back to
still
you.
trying, even though people are still being shitty to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a psychologist that said that every human is responsible for every other human in the world, right? And it took me a while to understand that. It's like, how can you be responsible from some guy in Japan?
interactions.
But the people around you, you affect your community, and the community affects the city, and the city affects
That's
the
a
state.
ripple effect.
Yeah.
Right, so that's what he was getting at, and it makes sense whenever I start to think about it and quit driving like an asshole all the time.
Well, that's why I have the pay it forward.
Right.
Yeah.
You know how exciting it is when somebody comes and like the person who actually started it, he's like, "Hey, are you still doing it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, heck yeah, we can still do it." You know, so he was the first person to do it, and then the next person, like it wound up being this big board. It's a little smaller right now, but uh, people come in and they see it, they'll
Those are my
either
clients.
add to it or they will redeem it every once in a while. But it's good because it's always people who have never been here before, and they look at it, and I can tell that whatever they're going through, today is not the day that they're going to be able to try something, you know?
Yeah.
And then they'll look at that, and they're like, whoever they're with will like smack them. They'll be like, "Hey, look." And then you can see the hesitation because nobody's used to people doing nice things for each
That's
other.
true.
Yeah.
You
That's
know, so
true.
they're like, "Oh, what's the catch?" And so they're like, "No, no, no,
What's the
no. I'll
catch?
leave it for the next person." And I'm like, "Take it. That's what it's there for.
Right.
Someone's already put the money in on it. You're not all you're doing is just redeeming it." And then they wind up redeeming it, and they usually will go and get another one.
I love witnessing people get excited about being kind to one another.
Yeah.
It's so rare. And I really honestly have come to very much hate the Western idea of individualism, like every man for himself, like you fight your way to the top. Because if you take it way back to the dawn of time, I mean, one person didn't come home with food, y'all were all struggling, suffering, you know? And it's like we're a collective community and society and species, and why has, not to go on a government tangent, but like why have we been like raised to like rip each other away from that? Like there's
Oh, because
no,
harmony is not easy. It's not entertaining.
right.
Harmony is not entertaining.
Yeah.
Chaos is. I mean, let's be honest. How many times have we seen a Facebook argument happen? I'm all like, "Yuck. This looks good. This looks juicy, girl." Yes.
Like it's a communication. It's not like it's like, I mean, arguments. If you take arguments out of the world, it does get a little bit like little boring, right?
Yeah,
A little
well,
boring.
you know, and that's human nature too. That has nothing to do, like, again, if you strip everything, strip arguments, strip religion, strip government, people are still going to have territorial tendencies. They're still going to either be compassionate. You're still the person who you are.
We've animals that have glorified themselves, you know.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, at the end of the day, all the government is doing is touching on the fear of others. They're not honing in on the compassion. That's society who's doing
Oh,
that.
because then that makes them less needed. you
Well,
know?
it dehumanizes them, right? Exactly.
You know what the saddest thing?
That we're talking
I've-
about government. Yeah, that's pretty sad.
I mean,
Sorry.
they're always sad, but
I'm always sad.
I'm obviously young and beautiful, and I've started working.
black.
Not black. I am.
Black.
I've been going by Middle Eastern lately, and I'll switch it up to Indonesian or something later on. But
I'm Irish in case y'all can't.
I try not to let my personality out too much on the podcast.
Well, we've already established.
Oh man, I'll touch on that eventually. But one of the saddest moments I've done was whenever I joined the workforce. I already had like the real workforce. I already had 5 years of work.
What's the fake workforce?
Well, I worked on a farm since I was 14.
That's not fake. That's work.
He also wasn't established though. He was like it wasn't like
That's
a
still
commercial
work.
business.
So it was like volunteer work.
No, I was getting paid.
So that was work.
But
You
you
were
know
off
what
the
I mean.
books?
Yeah, I
Is
was
that what it
I was off the books. Yeah, he didn't have to pay
It's
taxes.
still work. It's
Yeah,
still work.
so I joined
It's
in.
fake work. I got you.
It went on my resume. So I got my first job, my first factory job at this place called Wedica, and I got quickly moved up to supervisor at 18. So I got put in position of older people like 45, 50, 70, one of them. One of the saddest moments I've realized since then, working as a supervisor, is that people expect you to be an asshole as soon as you come in.
Right?
And then whenever they meet someone that treats them like a human, like not to pat myself on the back, but it's not hard to be someone that's decent and look over people, and they don't want to leave. And whenever I leave a place, they decide they want to come with me. And I have to convince them, like, don't quit your job. It's hard to get a job out here. You know, you're gonna have a decent supervisor to come in, and then they'll text me like 2 weeks later. It's like, this guy sucks. Are you gonna come in? I'm like, nah, man. I'm making a little bit more money. But that's speaking on being nice. Like that's the toughest thing I've noticed is that no one has a good boss out there, and that's the worst thing.
Fabsla, don't you
Yes.
shake your head no.
I wasn't shaking my head. No.
You did. You did a little.
No, that was like an agreement. Like, nah, nobody does have a good
Babs
boss.
has an amazing boss.
Oh, no, I do have an amazing boss. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking. I don't think of you as my boss, man. You're like my mom sometimes.
Okay,
dude.
I don't really know if that's any better.
Okay, it's probably
I'm
not that
kidding.
I didn't mean to start this.
No.
No, but you're right though, and that reminds me of like when I was in ROTC, and my colonel was all like, "So we're gonna give it to the other girl because she's a peacetime commander and you're more of a wartime commander," and I literally could not understand what the fuck he meant. Like, what does that even mean? I'm like a wartime commander because I get shit done. What?
my God.
I'm like, we're not at war. This is junior ROTC.
Nah, man, you are a wartime commander.
But like for
People come in
me,
here and they're like, "Where's the DMV?" And you're like,
well, no. Now that I'm older, I feel like I have understood what he means by that now. You know, like because I can delegate, because I get shit done, but I'm not the one that's all like, okay, you do this, you do that, you do this, and I'm gonna sit right fucking here and do nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, and I'm gonna come up here and like just do the whole front while you guys do that. Like, you know, like I have no problems getting down and dirty, and he could never understand that of me, because he'd be like, "You're the commander. Why are you down
Right.
there?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Right.
"Because I just told them to get down there."
right.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Isn't that what being a leader is?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's getting down with them so that they understand, like, I know how important your job is.
Yeah.
How old was he? Your commander.
Well, I mean, I was like 17 at the time, so he was old.
Like a boomer.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that with supervisors above me, when they've been in that position for a long time, the thought of working with people they believe under them is absolutely out of their mind.
Well, I mean, it's also the military, too, so there is that whole chain of command thing. So, of course, you know, like, I'm, you know, well, I don't even freaking remember what rank I was. But I
Wartime
was on a
commander?
top, I was a top.
That's your
wartime
rank.
commander.
You're D&D, right?
That's,
that's
I should
awesome.
just put my logo and be like wartime commander. But I was like the highest that you could possibly get. I couldn't get higher than the actual commander because obviously they're the commander, so they have to be the highest
Right.
one.
Right.
But
But you could, theoretically.
I mean, it was
If
it was,
you were to
it was a
take
shit
over.
show, okay? And I hated it so bad. I loved it. No, I take that back. I absolutely loved it. I cried so so hard. I loved it so much, which is why I was so mad when I left. Now, technically, I completed it all, but because you know you have like the block scheduling, but I was on the competition team, so I was color guard commander. So I'm like I'm still active, but technically I had completed all of my years. But then obviously we were trying to do some events that overlapped with my senior year activities, and senior year activities were planned out from the beginning, where we were just in the planning stages of our military events, and it was the same day as our senior trip.
Ooh.
And senior trip that I had already paid for, me paid, not mom. I paid. I worked my ass off for that. And he was like, "Nope, we're not changing it. You're gonna have to choose." And I was
Oh,
like,
that's tough.
"Okay, well, I'm gonna go on my senior trip." Like, and it wasn't that instant either. Like, I went and I talked to some of my teachers who I respected a lot, and I asked them, and I was like, "Here's my dilemma. I need guidance. You know, I need to know I'm making a good decision. Like, yes, it seems kind of selfish, but am I crazy for feeling this way?" And they were like, "You know, technically you've already completed everything, but, you know, senior trip, that's one in a lifetime. You're not going to get a senior trip again, you know?"
Right.
And so I was like, "Oh, and I paid for it already." I mean, this is
Right.
Florida. You know what our senior trip was? They closed down Islands of Adventure and Universal and the Boardwalk for us.
Whoa.
And they had concerts and crap. It was all night. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Was it worth it when you looking
Oh,
back?
hell
at it?
yeah, it was worth it. Hell yeah, it was worth it.
Yes.
But then after, I was all like, y'all doing it wrong. You gonna make it to nationals. Y'all still doing it wrong. So I kind of wanted to go back. But how you were saying about, like, hierarchy and chain of command and stuff, I remember being in the military. We were doing our training, and I had to coach an officer as a private.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, how does this work?
Oh.
Because you're not supposed to tell them what to do, but here I am. I'm the one that's supposed to be coaching him because he doesn't know how to shoot.
right.
Oh.
And I'm an expert. And I'm like,
That's crazy.
sir, you're not laying in the prone position correctly. And he literally gave me the nastiest look ever. And I was like, fuck it, whatever. Fucking die. I don't know what to tell you.
You have some ROTC pictures?
I do. Yeah.
Well, not right now, but I want to see them.
I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Hell yeah. I love showing it off. I had like 15 rows of ribbons, man. Because I did it Army first. And then when I went to Florida, I was Air Force. So I was all like, boom, look at that. And any chance I could possibly get that I could wear my Army ribbons also, I did.
Sam is an impressive woman.
I love trophies.
And
I love
trophies.
I worked my freaking ass off for all my
Well,
trophies. They were not
I do
participation
too.
trophies.
I love all my trophies, but I don't even know where they are now, to be honest with you. My grandma has them in a box somewhere in the house.
I still have my medals. I still have like my marksman pins, and I still have my uniform. I look at it every once in a while.
I don't
One day
think-
I'll fit into that again.
I don't have anything that's as cool as that. So when I mean trophies, basically compared to yours, I mean trinkets.
Yeah. I had a
MVP
volleyball
awards.
uniform.
What didn't you do?
I did everything I could to get out of the house. I did not want to be home. My home life sucked so bad that if there was an activity, I was doing it, whether I liked it or not.
Yeah, I feel that it's either be at home and watch VHS tapes, or go play football or basketball, or go out with my friends and sell weed. And I was like, well,
See,
not doing that one.
I would have liked to have been able to just hang out with my friends.
I thought you could have said, I would like to be able to sell weed. I was like, Samantha.
I could probably sell some good weed. I could probably make some serious money.
Now the FBI is going to raid this place. Like, oh, this is just a shell company.
No, sir. That tea just smells like weed. Actually, there used to be a tea that really did smell like weed. It was hysterical. Speaking of, I had a customer come in. It was the funniest thing ever. He was telling me the story. So that he came in this one time and I was giving him more tea. And the time before, when I was refilling his tea, I think he's from Louisville, so he's only ever in here like every 2 months or so. And every time, no matter who it is, I always ask, like, hey, do you want me to put a label on it, or do you know what you got? And, like, because honestly, I'm just trying to save my labels, Like, if you're a regular, like, and you're getting the same thing over and over again, like, you know what tea you're getting. You don't need that 25-cent label. That's the real reason why I ask
Start
sometimes.
charging them for the label.
Yeah, like,
It's 25 cents a label?
it's really not that much.
Oh,
But
that's-
but anywhere from like 10 cents, I mean, because like the packaging and all, like
Yeah.
everything that goes
Good
into it,
Lord.
like, which is why, like to-go water is not free, because I still got to pay for a cup, a lid, and a straw. So, I ain't trying to get rich, but I'm also not trying to like just give shit away. But anyway, so I also tell people, I'm like, bring your bags back and I'll refill it, like, because it's going right back to you. It's not like I'm reselling it, you know what I mean? So anyway, so I was like, oh, do you need a label? He's like, you know what? Yes, I do. And he's like, because last time I got pulled over and I had all my tea sitting next to me, and the officer, I could just tell, was looking at it, and he had green tea, like nothing else. It was just green tea. And I had to be like, it's tea. And I was like, ooh, man, it's a good thing you didn't have that one that actually does smell like weed, because that would have been interesting.
A green tea. Oh, it's a non?
I think that's amber.
Uh-oh.
I guess I left the gate open. Hey,
Hey.
what's up? Oh, you're good. You're good. We're getting ready to wrap it up, anyways. So.
All right, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Since I can't get out and I'm fat, do you mind hitting the stop button?
You hit the stop button. Oh, hold on.
You just gotta click. It's already on it.
You can face the
There
other
you
Oh,
go.
you don't say bye or nothing? Bye.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, I mean, you guys want to say bye? We'll say bye.
And that is the traveling businessman from Creare Marketing. You have to put your information in there.
You're doing
yeah,
that
you can
while
stop
she's
it, Amber.
consistently trying to press the
Did you do it?
No,
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it.